We did it! Fearless draft, here to stay all year. God, I cannot believe it. More important, I'm not surprised that it eventually came. I'm just surprised at the speed of which Riot made this decision. I was expecting it to come out the week after First Stand, which it likely still is officially, but now that we've got confirmation from Sheep Esports that it's coming, yeah, good on Riot. It does open up some interesting questions, though, to be had, because by all means, there were dissenters, me not being one of them. I think the majority opinion of the community online based on the polls that we saw, based on my comments on TikTok, I just posted the announcement of this about an hour and a half ago, and the comment section is overwhelmingly positive. People love it. But there are things that you do want to talk about. Side selection being an issue is something that Arnold from Gen G has brought up. The LCK in general has kind of been struggling with, to which I would personally counter with, hasn't blue side been overpowered at various different points in history forever? I feel like we have this conversation around blue side being dominant all the time, every year. So it's not like this is all that much different from the norm, even if it does have some additional implications, sure. But it ultimately just comes back to this point of entertainment versus competition. And there are some people that truly believe that the competitive nature of things, the altruistic competition, should be paramount. To which I would say, we're in the entertainment industry. As long as we are entertaining the masses and people are happy, that's all that matters. Because one of the most brought up counterpoints that I've seen from one person in particular, and Colin, I hope you don't mind me calling you out on this because you've been the champion of this issue, so I'm going to let you own that side of things, is the viewership argument that's been brought up of oh, Fearless, people say that it's popular, but it's actually not driving better viewership, to which I would say, you're not wrong that viewership is down right now, but I don't think that has anything to do with Fearless personally. I would say it's due to Riot's piss poor management of how 3 splits has been enacted. This international tournament feeling like it lacks a crap ton of weight, especially given the elevated nature of MSI as of late. Khan did notably bring up the point of oh, well, we can compare MSI viewership of old to First Stand because it is a similar format, to which I would say, yeah, but the weighting of MSI is still different than the weighting of First Stand. I publicly said in my last video about 80%, give or take, is what I would put of the value of this. So I would expect 80% viewership, to which we are well below that as of right now. And the point of comparison that he's making, I think, is a good one. It is boosted because it was during COVID, or at least coming out of COVID with 2021, but it notably did not have T1. So you can't just say oh, T1's not at First Stand. You look at this and, this should be able to tell the story. When it comes to the whole viewership conversation, I think that circles more just around how serious things are taken. And yes, I would like to see this split one, assuming it's going to be a thing, because Riot clearly wants to do 3 international tournaments a year. I would like to see this revamped and, quite honestly, bring more teams in it. We are 2 days in, and I will talk more at the end of this video, a little bit updating on First Stand, but it's already very blanketly clear how this tournament is going to shake up and go out. Purely because we've seen the finals matchup. We've seen pretty much a teaser of what's going to come in, barring top stepping up. And even then, even if they do, it is very clear that 50% or a little less than 50% is 40% of the teams, because of top and HLE being better than everybody else by such a wide margin. It's just the 2 of them. So a lot of the matches that you end up watching are kind of pointless. And without a double elimination, and given how standings kind of are right now, the only remaining matchup that we all really have our eyes on as being a potential one to watch and being close is now CFO versus Team Liquid. I think that does play into the viewership point a good bit, because once you've had a taste of better things, which is MSI, we can argue about double elimination, but the point is that you at least have 2 teams. It adds a little bit of okay, well, at least we know we can watch 2 top LCK teams duke it out if it comes to that, or 2 top LPL teams, even if it is a rematch. It's just simply a better format. So whenever you go back to an old thing, it does drive less hype. So I think that plays more into viewership than Fearless itself. Again, I'm not willing to write that for Fearless. I think the good comparison will actually be MSI this year to see what viewership is like there, but there could also be ripple effects of Split 1 possibly taking damage. Because so much change, it's going to be very hard to draw comparisons. But I honestly, just in my opinion, do not believe Fearless is to blame for any of that. Now, there's one other thing that we do kind of have to solve with Fearless. Well, 2 technically, but one I think is actually going to be fixed in the next week and a half. First is that all best of ones, in theory, should be eliminated from the LoL esports circuit. No? Like, if Fearless is going to be the stock standard way of playing the game, you don't want to see best of ones. We saw that with the LEC in Split 1, where everybody just looked at it and was like, why are we doing this? Like, what's the point? How is this prepping you for what is going to come in playoffs and international stages? Like, what are you doing? So the LTA is notably currently set to have double round robin, best of ones in spring. I think that's changing. There's no chance that they keep that as is, given that everything else will be Fearless. I think that's going to single round robin best of threes. I've already made it very clear beyond this that I would like to see a double round robin best of three. And if you have to do half of that online to make sure that you don't increase the cost, that because it takes $50,000 to run a single day in that freaking studio, do whatever you got to do to reduce costs, but we need more games within North America. It is a problem that we play so few times, and that's a problem that's raised by the teams of why they wanted double round robin in the first place. They wanted more days on broadcast. Okay, let's solve that problem the other way. Give you more days on broadcast, but let's go online for part of it. Viewership's in the gutter already. Can't imagine it gets any worse. So, problem one solved. Problem two, potentially, World Swiss stage. Currently, as it's structured, you have 2 rounds where it is purely best of ones in both the 0-0 and 1-0, as actually, in addition to that, the 1-1s. Anything that's not elimination is a best of one. And in theory, I would like to eliminate those if we possibly could, especially given that you've now eliminated the play-in stage of Worlds. So it's literally just Swiss kicking this whole thing off, and I don't want to see it go so quick. So there are 10, I'm reading the bracket from last year. It was October 3rd to October 13th. So basically, what, 11 days? Yeah, 11 days. We gave up the 5 for play-in stage, assumingly because Riot wants less production costs. So here's my proposition. In order to try and cut down on this, I know the amount of hours of this might be a little bit much, but currently, as it stands, you play 8 games guaranteed on day 1 and day 2 for both those 0-0 and 1-0 days. That's only 1 less than if you were to play 3 potential best of 3s Fearless, because they would not all go to 3 games, especially in those early rounds. It would be mostly 2-0s if we're being honest. So we put 3 best of 3s in the first 2 days and then 2 of them afterwards, so then we can do the draw. So we've increased 1 production day so far, and then we repeat that process again for the 1-0-0-1, so it's 2 additional days. The same thing actually occurs whenever you have the 2-0, the 0-2, and all the 1-1s. You have 8 total matches that need to be played, all of which could be best of 3, so that's a 3rd day that you're adding total to the production so far. And as it stands, that's actually it. Because the 2-1, the 1-2, and the 2-2 are already 3 matches that are all best of 3s. Now, they currently have it set to where it's only 2 per day, but if we make them 3, yeah, we've only added 3 production days total, and you've already gotten rid of the play-in stage, which drops 5 days, so you're net positive 2. Now, is that how they're going to be thinking? No, they're going to be comparing it to this year, guaranteed, where they already have the reduced amount of days. So technically, yes, I am proposing a solution that would add 3 production days and technically make the hours of the majority of those days potentially longer if it went to all 8 games. But what I would say is World Swiss stage should be an absolute test for everybody, and it should be kind of a grind with the production staff. If you're having single elimination best of 5s, we only get 7 series after all this is said and done. Yeah, I don't mind Swiss stage being as intensive as it possibly can be. That way we guarantee that we get the right teams and the right seeds. That way the single elimination knockout stage is guaranteed to be positioned in the best possible way. I know that one's asking a lot. I get it. But I'm just trying to think of in a world where Fearless is now becoming standard, where we clearly are valuing from the entertainment side the diversity of picks, or at least like the rotation of a pool, so that we're not seeing the same mirror matchups each and every game. And the benefit of Fearless obviously being shown more in best of 5s, you ideally want to have more best of 5s and just a complete elimination of best of 1s. So whatever we can do to try and get there would be great, even if I know Riot probably didn't plan on this taking off as hot as it did this quick. I guarantee you, Riot was thinking they would have time until next year to be able to wait for this. Now, this brings up an interesting question as well that Monte Cristo point out of like, okay, well, players were signed under the intention of knowing that it was like the old rules that like the player that you're going to have doesn't have to worry about Fearless for spring and summer, to which I would say, I can't think of many rosters where that changes things all that much. The only player from North America that I would personally have put in that pool, or at least that people would have said, would have been APA in some people's minds, to which he's already won a split playing Fearless. So that argument flies out the window. There's not many rosters I think would ultimately change. Well, yes, it is technically a shitty thing from Riot to do. At the end of the day, valuing entertainment overall, in my opinion, is going to be the way to go. Which, speaking of entertainment, First Stand, still ongoing right now, in case you did not know, because apparently a lot less people are watching First Stand than MSI of years past, as we already mentioned. Team Liquid, currently in the same position they were back in 2019. I made that comparison back on Monday when we were doing the overreactions, and it's looking to be pretty true right now. We got our ass beat by Top. Yeah, pretty bad. APA, unfortunately, did not have the best game. Yawn was never really in a position to carry. He kind of was in game one a little bit, but the team kind of collapsed around him. It was just, honestly, it was a mid-jungle gap. The difference between Yike and Vladdy and Cream is kind of big. Can't even remember top esports jungler right now, but all I know is he put Umpty in a body bag as well. So what has to happen? Well, we have an off day. By the time you're viewing this, technically day 3 of First Stand will be done, but Team Liquid's not playing. We play the Flying Oysters tomorrow, and as long as we win that, we're guaranteed to go through. I mean, we actually could even lose that series, and as long as K-Corp loses to both Hanwha Life and Top, we're still through. It's just a matter of who we play out of Top or Hanwha, and I'd rather play Top if you gave me the choice. So really, nothing all that much to check in on. The next video that I'll have on this channel will be on Friday, whenever we talk about the knockout stage, preview it a little bit, unless there's other news that comes up. I can't really imagine anything coming up that's bigger than Fearless, because this is probably the biggest change that LoL esports has ever seen, other than probably the introduction of double elimination to MSI. That is the only one that I could think of. Other than, well, I guess Swiss to group, or group stage to Swiss, was pretty big as well, but it didn't have like overall like industry-wide, domestic league-wide impacts the way that Fearless is going to. This changes everything, and honestly, I'm here for it, as apparently are the majority of the people that are actually watching. It's just the people that are not watching right now that we don't know their opinion yet. So we'll see when the time comes. Let me know your thoughts, though. I think most people are going to be for it, but if you disagree, go ahead and let me know. If you do agree, what do you think about this year getting everything? Do you think it was rushed? Are you just happy that it's here now permanently full-time? Or would you have rather waited for next year and have one final send-off year with the old format? Me personally, I embrace change the second we can get it. See you next time.